Whoa, is that what you tell all the girls?
Did you see that? That's what happens when you don't wait until Grandma says to go fill up your plate.
I can't. Hold on. It still hasn't popped yet. Just give me a. There we go.
No.
Hold on. Give me a minute.
I'm biting my tongue so hard,
Hold
I
on.
can't.
Just. Oh, there we go. Oh, that feels so much better.
Hello and welcome to episode 43 of the Game Brew Podcast. I am your host, Ian, Rick Grimes, Richard, and I'm joined by Chris.
I'm sorry, you got to say that with a southern accent. I'm sorry, you can't be Rick Grimes and.
How do you even say Rick Grimes?
Rick Grimes.
Rick Grimes.
Rick Grimes. Okay. I am your host, Ian, Rick Grimes, Richard, and I'm joined by Chris, Daryl Dixon Wrights.
I mean, that's cool. I got a crossbow and all that.
Dan Glenn Ree Rotz.
Hey, do you guys like baseball? I really love baseball.
Will Carl Grimes Shell.
Carl!
And Allison Michonne Vandevender.
Okay, I've seen 3 episodes of Walking Dead.
You got a badass samurai sword.
But, yeah, I was going to say, I know enough to know she's a badass and I'm in.
Yep.
Today, on the first half of the show, we'll go around the table and discuss what we're most thankful for in gaming. And in the second half, we'll talk about our favorite breakfast games and gaming experiences. But first, it's time for a feast of beers. Oh! So, Chris, what's the plan with the beers this week?
So this week we tried to get different, I guess, plates or dishes that you might have at Thanksgiving, but in beer form.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thanksgiving.
So thankful to have everyone here joining us and all the listeners at home. It's going to be
It's going to be great.
a good time.
Grab your beer and some chicken
Brew Giving
or
is
turkey.
the best giving.
Games Brew Giving. Yeah.
That's good.
I'm
On the
feeling
12th
so
day of
festive
game.
already.
Wait, that's Christmas. That's wrong song.
yeah.
There's no
God.
Thanksgiving
There's
song.
no Thanksgiving.
My bad.
10 little Indian. No, wait, no, that's not a.
I mean, that's the thing.
So we're gonna go ahead and walk through these beers as if they were dishes, just like Chris was talking about. And so we'll start with our appetizer beers first. What do we got?
I'll go first. Being from Maryland, we incorporate seafood into a lot of our
Excuse
our
me,
dishes.
young man.
Yep.
Young man. You get your hands out of that food. What do you do before you eat?
Are we saying grace right now? Sweet baby Jesus.
My beer is Sweet Baby Jesus, and it serves 2 purposes. The first of which is you say grace before you put your hands in that food, young man. Did your grandmother teach you nothing?
I'm an animal. That's why I'm still pushed over to the kids' table.
Please
Sweet
proceed.
baby Jesus.
Now that
Sweet
we've
baby
said
Jesus,
grace.
Thanks, Games Brew Giving. So at my house for Thanksgiving, we tend to have a lot of seafood because being in Maryland, we like seafood. So I have the Imp and the Madhouse Oyster Stout, which represents an appetizer that my family has. It's like these baked oyster dishes. They're really good, with like cheese and bacon on them. They're delicious.
That sounds cool.
We have oysters too, but they're not like that. I want your oysters. Ours are just from a can and then they're fried.
Oh, you don't get oysters from a
Oysters
can.
come
Oysters
in
don't
a
come from
can.
They
Okay.
put there by a man.
You have to understand.
Hope the factory wasn't downtown.
I'm having Thanksgiving in West Virginia. We don't exactly have fresh seafood.
That's true.
No, I know. Just oysters in a can
mountain
sounds...
oysters.
Actually, mountain oysters. Actually, and this is also made by Duclaw, which makes Sweet Baby Jesus.
What? How about
Yes, they
that?
do. Look at that pairing right there.
It's almost like the good Lord meant it to be.
But yeah, it's a stout. Don't really taste the oysters in it, but I'm sure they're there. Hope you enjoyed that appetizer.
There's the app. We've said grace. We've had our appetizer. Do we have any side dishes that we'd like to appreciate?
Oh, I have one. I mean, a classic of every Thanksgiving meal is obviously the stuffing. Shove that stuff in a bird, pull it out later, eat it. Yum.
You're not supposed to do that anymore.
No. It's cool.
I still
you
do
just have
that.
to make sure it's thoroughly
The wet
cooked.
stuffing is
Do
the
you
best
really?
stuffing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm drinking a Firestone Walker. We had Firestone Walker not too long ago. That was that Nitro Merlin I think we drank a while ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also we did some stuff from their Ursus versus Leo.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm drinking their Agrestic. It's an American wild red ale, and it's a mix of spices. It's got cranberry in it. It's got like all these different sorts of flavors.
Whoa.
It's a red ale, so it's got a lot of wood oaky. It's like a blend of beer matured in French and American oak. So it's got like.
What do you taste out of that the most? You named a lot of flavors.
Well, let me see. I haven't actually drank it yet.
or
so.
essences.
Hold on.
Holding on to life.
What essence vesses the most? Effervescence? You know what I mean.
Evanescence.
Ooh.
Evanescence, effervescence.
It's very for a red ale. It's definitely very tart because it has
cool. I like
it has
that.
some cranberry-iness to it. There's definitely some lemoniness, but I can really taste like the spice. It's definitely got like that caramel malt spice that's in it is very
Malty.
good. Nice. And you can smell like the oakiness to it as well. It's yummy. I like it. It's a mix of stuff, which is kind of what stuffing is, you know?
Yeah, it's perfect. And to go along with that stuffing, I have our old Speckled Hen, which is our main dish here. And you can see like a good inch of head on top of this.
Nice.
I realize
that's
it's
beautiful.
an audio, but it's a beautiful that's a meal in itself right there. And it's an English fine ale, 5% alcohol, and it's a nitro too, so it should be super smooth. Let me go ahead and give it a
sippy sip.
I'll just give it a little sippy, just a little sip.
Yeah. It's got enough body to where it feels really satisfying to drink, but it's super smooth, incredibly malty, like some caramel maybe, a little bit of caramel in there. It's really nice. This is a great beer. This is an excellent drinking beer.
Nice.
Question. Caramel or caramel?
Yeah, for me, caramel.
Yeah.
Caramel.
Well, you're
Caramel's
the
a
odd
place
man
in
out.
Indiana.
It's caramel.
Will's the only one who says caramel, apparently.
Yeah, Will also calls the trunk of his car a boot, so.
What are you,
No,
from
that's-
London?
That's over the big pond, Ian. I'm the one who calls a shopping cart a buggy.
That's what it is.
You call
Fucking
them
buggy.
buggies?
What?
It's a buggy.
What's wrong with
call it
you?
buggy.
It's a shopping
You go to
cart.
Walmart, you know, if you really want to
You get
brave
your
Walmart,
buggy?
and you get a buggy. Yeah.
Oh, my car got
Hey, go
hit
get
by
me
a buggy today. Oh, you were just driving down the highway? No, I was in the parking lot at Walmart.
I was thinking he was actually in like a motorized buggy just driving through stores. It's like,
I'm with Will. It's a buggy.
You call them buggies too?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
What do you guys call them?
shopping carts.
That's way too hard to say.
Yeah, it's too many
Okay.
syllables.
Okay. We're from the north. This is
Your chin only has to drop down once for buggy.
See
That's it.
what's good about buggy is that you can still pronounce it pretty well without teeth.
Buggy.
Whereas shopping cart, you need to enunciate with your teeth.
I would like to note that Will and I have all of our teeth. Thank you.
I would like to note that no, they don't, and suck it. That's it.
And they're lying.
They're lying.
Truth be told, I really do have one tooth that I just never had, so I have a totally fake tooth.
Okay,
I just
have a whole
didn't have
tooth.
it.
Sure,
Fine.
never had it.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't because I didn't want to know if you wanted to out your tooth.
That's
Oh, out of my
oh
teeth.
man,
it's out.
It's out now. Don't tell his parents.
Will's like George Washington. He's got one wooden tooth just hanging out in there. So we have more beers and brews to talk about. They're dessert brews. It's going to come at the second half. We can't have Thanksgiving without dessert, but don't worry, it's coming later. So
Gotta take a nap.
Maybe
first.
even some more side dishes too. Who knows?
who knows? We're just going to keep eating until we die because it's Thanksgiving.
That's what you do.
So
Until you're uncomfortably full.
That's the only way.
that's-
If you're not uncomfortably full from Thanksgiving, you're doing it wrong.
doing it wrong.
Allison, what have you been playing this week?
So I have been playing not much. I played a little League of Legends because the season ends tomorrow. But other than that, I actually played this game at a kid's birthday party on Xbox One called Night Squad. And it's
I love Night
really
Squad.
fun. I had never played it.
Is that Night Squad with a K or Night Squad with an N?
With a K. Like, they are knights.
Yes.
and it was 8-player local, which is really cool because that's hard to find in games.
Okay.
And so we had 8 people, ages from 7 all the way up to us in their upper years, and we were all playing, and it was a great time. And I don't know how old this kid was who beat me. I think he's 10, and he swept everyone. So good for him.
What kind of game is it? Is it like a platformer or some kind of versus arena thing?
It's a royale. So you all fight each other on a little rectangular map, and there are walls, so you block, and there are little items that drop all over the map. That you can use to either get a shield or run faster or weapons, and they upgrade. And I was lost. Everybody else there had played this game before except me. So I was like blindly hoping for the best, and I did not do very well at all. I won 1 round.
Okay.
And I'm going to call it luck. But there's like tactic to like how you spin and hit somebody and keep going and things like that I just didn't know. It seemed really simple on the surface.
Cool. Multiplayer battler game. Interesting. Chris, what about you?
I've been playing a lot of stuff, but not really digging into a whole lot, I guess. So I played some Mario Party this weekend on the new Mario Party on Switch.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is really cool. One of my favorite things about it is there's a co-op version of the game.
I saw that.
I actually haven't played any of the regular Mario Party. I've only done the co-op stuff because I like having my friends and not losing them.
Yes.
Fair.
But yeah, it's really cool. I really like that they've added, each character has like their own special dice now. I don't think that was in some of the older Mario parties.
No,
but
you just had regular dice or the ones you
so
get
I usually play as Wario. So his dice, he has two sides that if I roll that, he loses 2
coins.
2 coins, and he has 4 sides that are 6. So there's a lot of upside, or there's a lot of downside, and you can lose coins.
Yeah.
What are we?
We were
the
fist bumping in the
Yeah, so also in the game, they made the silly mechanic where you can like high five each other in the game.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Switch modes.
That's really cool. I like that too.
It's fun.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, I've also been digging in a little bit to Hollow Knight.
That was in
Yes.
the Humble Bundle, right?
It was, and I've been told that I need to play it because I'm such a passionate Symphony of the Night player. And so far, I really like it. I think that the story might be a little better than Symphony of the Night, but I kind of miss some of the RPG aspects of it.
Okay. Wait, you mean the story's
So it's
better
less-
than look? There's Dracula. Go kill him.
I mean,
Hollow Knight definitely has an incredibly well-built world and lore surrounding it, and that is really satisfying. How do you feel about the combat? I remember at least initially when I started playing it, I was like, man, the combat is like super tight, but there's not a lot to it. And then as you get farther into the game, it just sort of like blossoms into this beautiful combat flower. But I'm interested to what your thoughts are.
Combat flower.
Copyright.
so far-
Copyright that.
I've only played about 5 hours, but so far it's been pretty simple. There have been some kind of frustrating fights that I've lost a couple times. I mean, so far I really like how tight the movement is. It reminds me a lot of Dead Cells in that way, which it's very precise movement.
To me, it feels so much tighter than Dead Cells.
I thought Dead Cells was really tight. Dead Cells had to be tight because you were racing against the clock.
Yeah.
I feel like Dead Cells has a little slop built into it. Anyway.
Don't talk about my
like your
don't talk
opinion,
about my
man.
girl like that.
But anyway, what else, Chris?
I've also been playing Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales. So this is a story mode for Gwent, basically. All of your fights are, instead of being like action fights or turn-based fights, you just play Gwent. And it kind of gives you a nice story that you walk around and try to find extra money so you can upgrade your base or your camp and get better cards and stuff like that. But I mean, it's I really enjoy it because I really like Gwent, but I don't always like playing against real people. I like to play against the computer. And they also have, instead of just straight fights, you're doing like I imagine them as kind of puzzle fights. So you're given like a set deck and you have to figure out how to beat a challenge that they present to you. Like you might be fighting a bunch of ghouls or something like that, and you have to figure out how to kill all of them within like one round, or you might have a troll on your team that you're trying to defend from the other team and making sure that you can beat the other team while also not having too much damage happen to your troll.
Chris, just to clarify, this is its own discrete game. It is neither Gwent the Witcher card game, nor is it something that's within The Witcher 3. It's like its own game.
Yes and no. So it's connected to Gwent the Witcher card game in a couple ways. You can find treasure chests that will give you either cards or different borders for your character in Gwent the Witcher card game, like the online game.
Yeah,
and it's the same game as Gwent the Witcher card game, but it's not. It's a separate experience, I guess. Yeah.
So are you saying that you launch Thronebreaker from within Gwent the Witcher card game?
You don't, but you can launch Gwent the Witcher card game from Thronebreaker.
Interesting. Okay. That's cool.
I guess it's interesting.
Whoa, Mr. I don't like CCGs. You need to calm
You're
down.
right. And no.
Speaking of CCGs, I've been playing a shload of Magic the Gathering Arena.
Yes.
It's
All right, everybody,
like
welcome to
legitimately
the Card Collection Game podcast. This is
episode
Oh man,
3?
some game that Dan doesn't like. We better not talk about it.
Initially, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get into it because there were so many different systems and so many different cards, and now I'm just really happy that there are so many different systems and so many different cards. It's a little bit overwhelming at first, even for a veteran, but once you sort of push past that initial knowledge gate, it starts to feel like a really great game. So would recommend, totally free. I also spent some time for my birthday yesterday over
Happy birthday!
my voice is
How did I not know?
Whoa. Over at Button Mash in Echo Park, which is this
That's a good name for a.
Yes, it is.
yeah, and it's a barcade, so there's a bar and an arcade, and they also do some pretty cool like food there as well, like Asian food. I played a bunch of ice cold beer, which seems like a perfectly made game for this podcast. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
So ice cold beer is it's a physical cabinet. So you have 2 joysticks, and each of the joysticks controls one end of a straight pole, and on the pole is a ball, and you're sort of balancing the ball as you're trying to raise it up. And there's a bunch of holes in the thing that are like beer bubbles, and the game tells you which holes to try to put the ball in using those 2 joysticks, and you can't put it in any other holes or else you lose.
Oh, that's cool.
And it is
That's cool.
incredibly tough, but it's also super fun, and just like the tactile feel of the joysticks controlling something physical is really neat.
That's cool.
And I also ran the credits on the old X-Men cabinet.
Oh, that's such a fun game.
Was it a 4-stick or 6-stick cabinet?
It was a 4-stick cabinet. Let's see. No, it was a 6-stick cabinet. I apologize.
Nice. I love
Nice.
that 6-stick cabinet.
Yeah,
Did
it
you
was
play as
awesome.
Colossus?
No, I fucking played as Cyclops
Colossus is
because
the best
he's my
to play
bro.
as.
Yeah, Colossus is
Scott
awesome.
Summers.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Scott Summers is your boy.
He is my boy. Yeah, so I had a really great time. Button Mash would recommend if you're in Los Angeles anywhere.
I'm excited
the
for you to
Mash.
play that with you at MagFest this year.
Yes, it's gonna be great.
That's one of my favorite cabinets at MagFest.
All right, real quick, Will and Dan, what do you guys got?
I've been big into mobile games where I'm getting this master's degree and I'm so busy with that and work. I have started playing Plague Inc. again. Do you guys know what this is?
Nice.
I played this. I may have mentioned it on one of the very first episodes, and I don't recall. But in any case, for those of you who don't know, it's a game where you create a virus, and the goal is to destroy the world, to kill all living people in the world, and you evolve your virus and give it different abilities and immunities and ways of transmission and what's the opposite of susceptibility? The thrivingness, for lack of a proper term, in different climates. And it's really, really neat. And when you set it to the harder modes, you really have to think about what and how you're going to do things. And you really have to sometimes pause the game and be like, okay, what's the climate in Western Canada? And you have to pay attention to these things. And it's pretty neat and cool. I haven't logged into the game in well over a year, and there's a lot of different updates and a lot of different content that you can have, most of which is behind a paywall.
Interesting.
But to unlock those things is not expensive if you want to. I haven't unlocked those. I've just kind of been playing the game as per usual. You don't need those to be effective at the game and to have a good experience and to win the game. So it's great. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. That's awesome. One other quick mobile game recommendation while we're talking about mobile games, and since we just had voting happen. There's a great mobile game called Gerrymander that I recommend everybody go check out. It's a really cool little game. Dan, what about you?
I've been playing me some Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, I don't know about you guys.
Shit!
But yeah, because I've been like spending a lot of console time recently, which is why if you ask any of these guys, they're like, Dan doesn't exist. He's a ghost. Because like, I haven't seen me on my computer in like weeks, probably. No, it's great. Like, I got it on my PS4. It's just in classic Red Dead Redemption, like it puts you in and it's teaching you stuff as you go. And there's just so many things that you can do in this game.
Yeah. How many hours do you have in it right now?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't really looked.
Guesstimate.
Maybe like 8, something like that.
Okay.
But like, I still feel like I'm just starting it.
Are you past the extended tutorial?
I don't know what the extended tutorial is, so
okay.
Maybe not.
I've heard that the first 4 hours are basically one long tutorial.
Kind of. I mean, but that's pretty classic like Rockstar games. Like what they build it into the story so that you have to do the things as you're like, you learn to hunt because you're like it's snowing and you're in the wilderness and you're running out of food and you're like, okay, someone's got to hunt, and you're like, well, I never hunted before, but you have a member of your crew who's like got Navajo roots, so he's like, I'll show you how to hunt, just come on and we'll go do that.
Come on down.
Yeah, so then you go hunting and you gotta figure out how all that stuff works, and it's one of the things I won't talk a lot about it right now. I feel like I'm going to talk more about this later, but the one thing I think is really great is that happens in this game a lot is that as you're just riding your horse somewhere or going places, stuff just happens. So like you'll be riding your horse along a trail, all of a sudden you hear some guy like, help, somebody help, and it's like what's going on, and you like can focus on him and either like antagonize him or greet him, and if whichever you do is like, hey, what's going on, it's like a snake bit me, please, you gotta help, and you can either like give him medicine or suck out the venom, or you could shoot him in the head. I don't know, you could do
bit him.
Yeah, that too. But like, and then sometimes people would be like, thank you, mister. Like one time I saw a guy who was getting attacked by wolves. So I killed the wolves that were attacking him, but he still died because he was attacked by wolves and it's cowboy times. He was like,
the cowboy
he was
times.
Like, I'm going to bleed out anyway. Thank you. And then he died. And I was like, oh, sorry, man. I'm going to steal all your stuff. And then I looted his body.
Oh, that's really funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll talk more about it next time because I feel like I'll have more time to play it and give you a better review.
Yeah, we'll look forward to it. Speaking to looking forward to it, for us, it's not quite Thanksgiving, but in the future, when you are listening to the podcast, it will be. It will be Thanksgiving, and you are familiar with the tradition. Every year, your family gathers around the table, and like fucking clockwork, some well-meaning but annoying family member says, okay, let's all go around the table and say something that we're thankful for.
Is this, Ian, is this before or after your grandfather unbuttons his pants and unzips them to make room for all the food that he ate?
Yeah, it's
definitely before.
Before that, but after he
Okay.
says something accidentally racist, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Accidentally racist uncle. Gotta love him.
That would be a great SNL skit if this were like 15 years ago.
Accidentally racist uncle.
Yes.
Well, today I will be that annoying family member. We're going to go around this Game Brew table and say some things that we're thankful for in gaming. So directly to my left is Will, which means we'll start with you.
One word. Wireless.
Yeah,
that is nice.
I can get on board with that.
I am so thankful for wireless. I mean, think about it. When we were kids, it didn't really matter as much, but we'd have to, because you're durable and malleable when you're a kid, but sit, crisscross applesauce in front of the TV and like not in a comfortable chair. because you were tethered to your console. And as soon as wireless controllers came along, you can sit back in the couch. And as an adult, especially when you're the one who bought the couch and you're the one who bought the television or the recliner or whatever it is you've got, it's such a nice feeling to just lean back and be comfortable in whatever it is you're playing with a wireless controller. That is probably the number one thing that I am thankful for in gaming.
That's true. That's pretty huge. And yet I find myself like living in a world of wires. Like my headset is wired, my microphone is wired, my mouse is wired, my keyboard is wired.
I mean, there's some things that shouldn't replace, but you know, in general, I'm happy with wireless.
I agree with you, but at the same time, like, God bless wires. Like,
But you just,
I get tired of having to replace batteries. I mean, obviously I don't do it that often, but when I do it, it's always at the worst time.
gotta get those rechargeable
That's
boys,
true.
yo.
Well,
That's true.
but I mean, it branches out like your cell phone. That's still wireless in lots of ways. And we used to have a house phone with a cord, you know? So it's still, there's lots of ways you can look at it. Wireless is a savior in your everyday.
Praise be to wireless.
Praise be to wireless.
Ramen.
Alice, ramen. Well, Allison, you're on the next. You're up next. What are you thankful for in gaming?
I'm really thankful for multiplayer games because it's the only way I socialize, to be perfectly honest.
You mean
I
like
hear that.
online multiplayer games?
Yeah. So I love you guys and thank you for you because I play with you all and a bunch of my other friends, and that's the only way I'd really get interactions like that. Because I wouldn't leave my house. And I'm really thankful for Twitch. I know a lot of you guys don't watch it much, but it really helps because I don't have television. And yeah, Netflix is great and Hulu is great, but there's just something about the live background noise that Twitch gives me to get me through a day. I don't know. It's really nice, and the interaction with people is very cool, and I'm growing to love it more and more.
I'm glad you keep bringing it up. I still want to dig deeper into the world of Twitch. So
Yeah. I think it's not for everybody, I guess, but I really think there is something for a lot of people on there. You just have to find what's interesting for you.
I really like Twitch as a distraction at work. If I get really overwhelmed or frustrated and I need a few minutes to just some background noise of something I enjoy, I'll just put that on my phone and prop it up there and then keep doing work. And it's a nice way to incorporate something that I love in gaming while I'm at work when I'm frustrated. It's actually really nice. It's kind of like SVU. You may not really watch it, but it's nice to have on while you're doing other stuff.
You know, Mariska Hargitay's on there, like, doing crazy stuff.
Dan, what about you?
Don't sound so excited, Ian. It's really helping.
I'm excited.
Dan, why don't you go ahead and just tell us about what you're doing? It's fine. Just go ahead. It's fine.
It was a long night last night, everybody. I really apologize.
The thing I'm thankful for is like YouTube and Let's Plays in general. Like, since those have become more popular, because it's a way that I can experience video games that I might not necessarily play. So it'd be like understand what they are and like watch them. Like whenever Ian was on the last week's spooky one, when Ian was playing Doki Doki Literature Club, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that's about because I watched Game Grumps play it, because I didn't feel like playing it, but I did want to watch people who would be funny playing it, you know, that. And I'm gonna lump in Dungeons and Dragons podcasts with that too, because sometimes, just like Will listens to Twitch whenever he needs to kind of relax, so you're making dinner, just put on some Dungeons and Dragons podcasts and just be like, oh yeah, yo, there's some kobolds, watch out, you know. It's some good shit, dude. Some good shit.
Nice. Chris, what about you?
Well, first I want to start with this chair I'm sitting in. This has been a life changer for me. So I used to have a really old chair. This chair is this new $200 beauty rest chair that my girlfriend got me. It's so comfortable.
That's my mattress.
It is so good. It's like, it's got memory foam. It's so nice. I'm so comfortable. My back appreciates it. I appreciate that my back appreciates it.
That wireless controller is probably nice too, so you can continue to lean back instead of forward while you're in that
I
chair.
have a really long cable for my wired controller. So. I'm also thankful, speaking of controllers, I'm really thankful for the Xbox controller, specifically the Xbox One controller.
Yes.
It's the apex of controller technology at this point.
It's true.
It definitely is.
Like, the DualShock controller is great, but
It's not
man, the Xbox One controller is real good.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of more PS4 stuff recently, and like, it's not as good. It's not.
It feels
really
flimsy.
not.
No, it's not. And a major problem I have with the PS4 controllers is when you set it down, the trigger buttons, you can activate those so easily just putting the controller. It's such a pain in the ass when you're watching a movie or different. I hate it. I love
And the
Xbox
DualShock
controller.
4 also just like, its battery drains in like 2 hours. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, it's insane.
It's awful.
The,
And it's too small.
So small.
I'm glad that you brought up controllers, actually, because one of the things that I am most thankful for is the advent of twin stick controllers. So controllers
Have
that
you
have
guys-
two joysticks.
Have you guys tried to go back and play like a shooter from
GoldenEye or
N64?
something?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
God,
It's
not
You
so
literally have to
easy.
stand. You literally have to stand to aim.
It's terrible.
That's why
it's super funny.
auto aim is a big help in that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and also the other thing I was thinking about with this is that I'm super thankful for triggers on controllers at all. There was a time in games, friends, when we didn't have triggers on our controllers or even shoulder buttons.
We had up, down, left, right, A, and B, start and select, and you never used select.
I feel like we need time travel music for the children who listen.
No.
I wonder when select became like the natural button for maps.
Whenever they implemented maps, I guess.
Well, I mean,
I can remember not having maps. I'm like, where
The
do
first
I
Zelda.
go?
Well, now they don't
Yeah,
even
you-
have a select button. It's just like one with 2 squares and then one with some lines on it, and they don't have names.
yeah.
Hey, you remember that, kids? Back in our day, we had to play Zelda in the snow.
You didn't play
Uphill.
Zelda in the snow.
Both
get that right.
ways. Well, yeah.
I'm thankful for RGB for all my computer components, so I can make sure that everyone knows how cool I am.
That's true.
You are
Everything
very
glows.
cool.
You know, that's.
Everything
I used to
glows.
think that was a silly thing, but it's
so
actually.
dumb. I love
I'm
it,
in the
though.
process
It's
of
so
buying
dumb.
a house. No, I don't think it's dumb.
Does
I'm
your
in the
house
process
have
of-
RGB on it?
Underglow
No.
on your house, dude?
Dude,
No.
Will's house is totally lit.
No, but like planning out like what's the
shut up.
office gonna look like? It's like, oh, I want this color scheme, and like RGB is gonna allow me to make sure that my cool nerd stuff is gonna match like the paint and the posters on the wall and the trim and like it's silly, but it's cool. I like it.
Well, mine clashes, I guess, a little bit. I have mine just kind of set to a nice light purple with a candle flicker on my computer. But like, it's cool that you can do that. It's dumb, but I love it.
Can I just say for a second that on the script I thought you wrote RBG, and I was like, you really love Ruth Bader Ginsburg a lot.
I
so
do,
thankful
I do
for
appreciate
Ruth
RBG.
and all
Not to be
4 of
confused
her
with-
remaining ribs.
Yo, can you imagine RBG with some RGB?
Oh my god!
Anything else that anybody wants to note as that they're thankful for? I
What
have
are
one,
you thankful
actually.
for?
Yes, I'm thankful for the Game Brew.
Aw.
I think similar.
I mean, I think we
similar-
can assume that for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realize that this is like the asshole at dinner saying like, "I'm just thankful for this family," and everyone's
Like,
like,
fuck you,
okay.
Uncle Tim.
You're that.
But-
Whatever, Grandpa, zip your pants back up now.
But at the
Quit
same
being
time,
racist.
it's just it's great to be able to do this with y'all and to have an audience out there. What's up, audience? And
Hi, people.
to just have like a forum and community. So
Yeah, and we're
Yeah,
very
I
thankful for
agree.
that audience as well. So thank you.
Yeah, we all agree
for
there.
listening.
I'm thankful for Libsyn.
Yeah.
Libsyn.
Thank you, Libsyn. Thank you, Libsyn.
I think we're all thankful for Humble Bundle.
Yeah, I'm thankful for Humble Bundle, which you can also help us out by going to bit.ly/GameBrew.
I'm
early.
I'm thankful for shameless plugs.
There it is.
There it is.
All right. Well, that is it for the first half of the show. In the second half, we're going to turn it around and talk about our favorite breakfast games and gaming experiences. Stick with us.
Hey there, Game Brew fans. Just thanks again for listening to the podcast. It's Dan here with the middle stuff. Just seriously, we are super thankful for you and all of the listening that you guys have been doing. It's awesome. Keep listening, and we keep promising to put out some really awesome content for you. And tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your uncle with the unbuttoned pants at Thanksgiving. Say, hey, if you like video games or beer, listen to this awesome podcast. We really look forward to it. So, remember to subscribe to it, and leave us a good review if you leave some good stuff. We promise to keep giving you good stuff. And if you want to support us, you can do that through Humble Bundle. If you just go to bit.ly/GameBrew, that's bit.ly/GameBrew, and you can support some awesome charities while getting sweet new games you may not have played every month. It's really cool. We also like to hear from you, so definitely send us any direct messages through Facebook. You can tweet at us using the hashtag #TheGameBrew. You can also, say, hey, what's up? Send us some messages or tell us what you liked about the podcast, what you don't like about the podcast. You can do it through that. You can also send us an email at thegamebrew@gmail.com. We have an email account. Yay. And of course, if you want to keep supporting us, that's really the best way, is just to, keep sending us messages, send us stuff on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, just at The Game Brew, and it's really great. So I'm going to let you get back to the episode now. So happy Thanksgiving. Let's see what the rest of the stuff we have for you. Bye-bye.
Hello, and welcome back to the second half of the Game Brew Podcast, episode 43. This is the gratitude episode, and we are returning to our Thanksgiving of Beers episode. Chris, it looks like you're getting ready to pop something open there. What do you got?
So this is what is this? This is
Another side dish?
This is another side dish. This is the Professor Fritz Bream 1809 Berliner Weiss.
Whoa.
And it is our sauerkraut for the evening.
Nice.
So
Es ist unser Sauerkraut.
Yeah, we have the Germans in here, so we like to.
Germans aren't thankful.
So
Yes,
a
they
Berliner
are.
Weiss is a German sour beer. So I thought it
Thank
was
you, Allison.
appropriate.
Thank you for that.
Nice.
Cool.
Does anybody have any other dessert? Is it good, Chris? Do you like it?
It is. It's almost like champagne, kind of. It's good.
Really? Is
Yeah.
there a vinegar thing going on? I just
Kind
the
of, yeah. It's
sauerkraut.
it's a little sour, but it's not like a sour. I don't know why I had to say that 3 times. but I did.
Sour.
But it's really good. It's really refreshing. It's really light and crisp.
Yeah.
Kind of almost like appley, but not
Yeah.
like a cider, but it's not. It's good. I really like it. I like it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Cool.
Nice.
Allison, what's for dessert?
Well, in that case, yes, I have blueberry pie.
Awesome.
I have true blueberry celestial seasonings herbal tea. You can get it anywhere at any grocery store, which it's like a go-to for me. It's really sweet, but it's just very easy to drink, and it's honestly just like blueberry, and it's got a little orange to bring out the blueberry, but that's it.
Nice.
Well, that sounds very delicious.
It is.
And if you wanted to
Magically
have a
delicious,
not
even.
healthy fruit-based dessert, Dan, what would you have?
Well, I have me. I am actually. I didn't look at some of the things. It looked delicious when I got it. I got a nice pumpkin pie here for dessert too.
Pumpkin
Yeah,
pie.
it's some pumpkin pie. So it's Southern Tier's pumpkin, but it's not the normal pumpkin. This is the Barrel House series. So it's pumpkin, but it's aged in rum barrels.
Oh, cool.
It's 13.4% alcohol by volume.
a
Wow.
lot of percentages.
So, oops.
Dan will be smashed.
I'm gonna
by
be
the end of
drunk.
this. Good
I
to know.
apologize to whoever I text after I finish drinking this.
This drunk text was brought to you by.
This drunk text was brought to you by Southern Tier Pumpking. and then in like small print, Pumpkin does not have anything to do with this drunk text thereafter. Please do not send us any messages in regards to the drunk text you received from this individual. Thank you. But man, it's good. You can smell it though. Like as soon as I poured it, I was just like, "Oh, there's some rum flavor in that." But it is very sweet and delicious and yummy.
Awesome.
Yummy boy.
All right, so imagine this. It's early morning. The sun is just peeking its head above the horizon. You toss off the blankets, rub the sleep out of your eyes. Maybe you put a set of slippers on, put the kettle on, and then you saunter over to your gaming system of choice and turn on a game. Sound familiar? What is your favorite early morning gaming tradition? Is it a set of socks? Is it a particular game? Is it a particular genre? What is gaming like for you in the morning?
Okay.
Does anybody want to jump in on that? Do you want to go?
I can start with zero pants.
No pants.
Zero
No
pants.
Zero pants,
Seriously.
pants off gaming.
Hello, this is Allison of the Zero Pants Gaming Podcast.
I mean, like honestly though, like that's kind of my normal state. I hate pants. I think they're evil, and when I'm home, I don't wear them. But in the morning especially, it's just like, all right, roll out of bed in my shirt or whatever I slept in, and of course there are no pants, and it's the most comfortable gaming time ever. So that's definitely what I start with.
Is there a specific like genre or type of game that you like to play in the mornings?
Really easy to play games. So my go-to used to be, and I don't really have a console I can play it on right now, but I just found out it came out for mobile, so I'll be downloading that and doing this. Harvest Moon was really my go-to morning game. It was like easy to play and it would give me warm fuzzies, and so it would start off my day really well. And you know, I can woo those ladies, which is important.
Yeah, that was kind of like whenever I was recently reminded of how much I used to play
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley.
Valley.
I was starting over. I was recently reminded of how much I used to play Stardew Valley, like when we first started this podcast, and that
How
was
much did you used to play Stardew
so
Valley?
much. So
Too
much.
much.
But like in the morning
Too
I'd get up,
much.
I'd play it. In the evening I'd get up and play it. But it was kind of like working a real farm. It's like, oh, I got to get up early and play some Stardew Valley. Like I got to get up early and tend the turnips, feed the horses, feed them pigs, you know, all that kind of stuff. But that used to be a nice early morning routine. Now it's like quick things. Like I could play a couple rounds of Black Ops 4, like Blackout, or like
In the morning?
yeah, it depends on which morning it is. Prepares you for the day. You're like, I'm gonna hate everyone today, so might as well start it with some murder.
That's really funny. Chris, do you have like a specific thing in the mornings? Do you feel like it's different than the gaming that you do in the rest of the day?
I'm going to be honest, it's not.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I will say that there's, like, if I'm really into a game, I will get up early just to play that game. So, so, like, if I'm really, like, when I was playing WoW, I would, like, go to bed late, get up early so I could, like, clock my time in. And I was doing that a lot with God of War when I was playing that.
Got to meet that quota.
I know. It happened a lot. I used to, when I would stay at my girlfriend Katie's place before we lived together, and she left for work, I would come home and, like, instead of, like, going back to sleep because it was only like 90 minutes, I would just play stuff, and it was it felt really productive because it felt like I was getting something done, even I totally was not getting anything done.
No,
was
I
playing
get that though. I have the
But,
same
like,
feeling when I wake
really
up and
enjoyed
play.
that. Like it was a good way to start my day. But I wouldn't say I played like different games. I would just try to continue.
When you were a kid, what were the games that you like woke up and ran downstairs to play?
Rogue Squadron.
Warcraft 3. Oh, Rogue Squadron. Yeah.
That was fun.
But Warcraft 3, Diablo 2, definitely. I have like vivid memories of Christmas morning. So my parents did this thing where they wouldn't let us like go and check out the gifts we got, so I would go down and play on the computer until everyone got up.
Yeah.
But I just have like vivid memories of playing like custom maps on
Halo or
Warcraft 3 doing that.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Halo.
Nice.
Halo was always that way for me. Whenever you get up early and like, I would go play some Halo for a little bit, and then we do that, and it'll be great. It'll be fun. It'll be a cool day.
What about you, Will?
Those are the types of games I like to wake up and play. You know, are things that they're generally multiplayer, but they're quick in, quick out games, whether that's WoW or it used to be Counter-Strike. I used to play that a ton first thing in the morning. I hopped on the free Destiny for PC, Destiny 2 train last weekend, and that's been it a little this past week, not a whole bunch. I may do that in the morning before work because tomorrow's going to be a long day. Things like that. And, you know, it's passive and you don't have to pay a whole lot of attention to it, but it's still active enough to get your mind going, if that makes any sense. Like Diablo 3 is a good example. Those are the gist of the types of games I play. I definitely prefer pants on and like cozy, comfy pajamas. And when I know I'm going to wake up early the next morning and play some games, I always have the coffee pot set to have coffee ready so that I wake up, pour a cup straight in here. It goes on my mug warmer. And
You
I just
wake up feeling like P. Diddy.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes when it's cold, like in the winter, I'll put on this electric blanket around me like I've got now, and I'll wear my Mickey Mouse slippers or house shoes, depending on where you're from.
House shoes.
House
Slippers.
shoes.
Slippers, yeah.
Foot
Tell me,
buggies.
tell me this: do you wake up?
Episode
That's what I
title
would
right
call
there.
them. Foot buggies.
Foot buggies.
That's awesome.
goodness.
What's funny is that like I really identify with waking up in the morning and wanting to play games as sort of like my modern version of doing cross puzzles. So like anything
Crossword
that's
puzzles,
even
you mean?
crossword
Like
puzzles, yes.
Sudokus, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything that's like remotely puzzly is really good in the morning. So, Into the Breach or Gorogoa. Did anyone else here play Gorogoa?
You
I've
told
heard
us to,
about
but
it.
I
That
ignored
sounds
you.
like a bad word.
Gorogoa.
Yeah, you told us
Gorgoa.
to, but we purposefully did not because you told
Yeah.
us to.
Okay, well, fine. It's
Got
really
a 10
great.
out of 10 on Steam, guys.
It's really, really great. And
Jacob, what?
it's probably not expensive. It's probably what, like $10, $11?
It sounds very expensive.
It is $15.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
more than
I would
$10.
I would pay $15 for it in a second again.
Is it on
I-
Switch?
Yeah, and I played it on Switch, and it was great on Switch. It'd also be really good on iPad, which I think it exists there too. But puzzly things in the morning, just to get my brain juices squishing around in there.
You know what game was like that for me was whenever I had a PlayStation, the handheld one. What was it called? A PSP. I had a PSP, and on it I didn't have very many games because it was a PSP. But
Damn!
but I did have I had Luminous on it. Lumines. Have you heard of this at all?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
a really fun like puzzle game, and it had like sound ethereal stuff that would happen. They're coming out with a new one soon, I think. I was just watching something on Funhouse where they were talking about it, and it's pretty basic, but it's fun to play, and it kind of keeps you going. That was a good like early morning, like get my brain moving sort of game, or like while I'm pooping, I'm gonna play this sort of game, you know.
That's kind of funny because I play
Pooping
those games
games.
before bed. Like the puzzly kind of. It's kind of like my wind down brain needs to shut off, so I give it something to focus on. Kind of.
Yeah.
That's too much for me.
Well, see, that's because when I lay in bed, like my brain just goes and it won't stop. So when I do like absent-minded like puzzle games, I know absent-minded and puzzle game doesn't make sense, but something you don't have to focus too much on. But it takes enough of your brain power away from thought process. That's my wind down.
So that's when I just look.
I
at
have to
memes on the
do
internet.
that. Like, especially if I'm stressed, I've got to do something exactly like what Allison described to just like let those stressors sort of dissipate so I can actually get some sleep.
This is what I
think
do.
it's a great idea.
This is what I do.
I mean, that works too.
I was gesticulating towards the beer audio medium. Sorry.
You can't just gesticulate towards things. That's weird.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, beer. I didn't mean it. I did mean it.
The other kind of games that I find myself playing pretty regularly in the morning are like gacha games.
Gacha games?
Yeah, so these are like Summoner's War or like Dragalia Lost or the games where it's
I just downloaded Dragalia.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cool. It's got a pretty catchy theme song,
does.
actually, strangely enough.
It does. Well, it's a Nintendo property, right?
Yeah, it is a Nintendo property.
I'm good at that stuff.
Those like take up way too much of my time. I try not to play them. I get sucked in.
I don't get sucked in. I just like go open a box every morning. I'm like, ooh, shit I don't care about. Cool.
Hey, sweet. Look,
see you again tomorrow.
Got to open up so I get those daily rewards, man. Well, what do you do with them? I just open it up so I get daily rewards, man.
It's exactly what happens. Yeah, it's totally true.
Yeah, I just want to say, because I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2. So Red Dead Redemption 2 takes a lot of time. Like, it's not like you can't spend like 20 minutes here and there playing it, because a mission could take you at least 30 minutes or like at least 40 minutes. So if I wake up, like if I have a day off, I say, all right, I'm going to wake up tomorrow pretty early. I'm going to play some Red Dead Redemption 2. That'll probably take me like 4 hours, and then it'll be 12 o'clock and I'll be able to, do the rest of my stuff that I need to for the day. And then it's 6 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm like, well, fudge. But I didn't say fudge.
Oh, fudge. Now, I will say I like to wake up, if I'm going to play games in the morning, I like to wake up way, like 4:30, 5 a.m. early, so that I know I get a good...
Whoa.
What?
I like a good uninterrupted hour and a half or so of like me time. And that may seem absurd, but there's like dogs and stuff, there's a lot to do like routine wise in the morning.
That makes sense.
I want an hour and a half of just nobody but me time, because the rest of the day is so packed with stuff. The older you get, like kids out there, things. You think when you grow up, you're going to have all this, when I got a job, I'm going to buy all the games I want. Yeah, you are. And you're not going to have time to play them. I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry that Rhonda Realist is going to smack you across the face when you hit your 30s, but you're going to have all these games.
Not to be confused with Ronda Rousey.
Sorry, smacking noise. Had to put it.
But
in.
yeah, that's what I do with it, and it's nice. It really is, like Chris said, you feel productive even though you're not, but you're just starting away accomplishing something that's important to you. And it's a positive way to start your day, and it's really nice. It puts me in a better mood for the day when I do that.
No, it's interesting that even like such a menial task, like that's the same thing with menial tasks that I do that aren't video games too, where it's like you get up or you go to bed and you're like, you know what? I really got to take out the garbage. I'm going to get up early and I'm going to take that garbage outside. I'm going to put it by the curb. I'm going to put it in the dumpster. And then you do that, and then the rest of your day is miraculously super productive just because of that one morning thing you did. And you can do the same thing with video games too. It's like, you know what? I'm going to get up in the morning. I'm going to play 6 rounds of Black Ops 4 multiplayer, and then I'm going to go do my laundry. And then you do your laundry, you go shopping, you call your parents, you go and you slap a puppy, and then you go, hey,
what?
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 Yeah, no, I said call your parents, and that's a weird, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, I know, Dan.
Right. Well, I think that's it for us for episode 43 of the Game Brew podcast. If you have a thing that you are thankful for, or if you would like to tell us what your favorite thing about gaming in the morning is, you can always hit us up on the social medias. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Okay, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg were a standard like D&D class, like mage or warrior, whatever, rogue, what would she be?
She's definitely a warrior, dude.
Definitely a warrior.
I don't know about that. She'd probably be.
She's a fighter.
She'd probably
She's a
be.
fighter.
No, she's a wizard, if anything.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say a scholar.
With the heart of a fighter.
I guess.
I would be a mage.
I was gonna say cleric.
How about a mage with a sword?
Mage just wouldn't
A
use
battle
swords. That's
mage.
ridiculous.
A battle mage.
That would be a warcaster, is what you
Ooh,
would
battle
call
mage,
that.
good one. Yep, that'll work.
Fair.